Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about the 4th episode of the 7th series of Doctor Who, The Power of Three, and this video will contain spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. Okay, so let's start with the plot, the slow invasion. The fact that we have all these cubes appearing out of nowhere I thought was absolutely fantastic. There are some Doctor Who plots which are interesting, but they don't necessarily keep me hooked. But I found with this, I was constantly thinking, what are these cubes? Where have they come from? What are they doing? Why aren't they doing anything? And then when they started to do things, I was still hooked, you know. Sometimes when a plot starts to unravel, it gets a little less interesting. But I thought that was brilliant. Plus, it means there's a massive market there for merchandise, especially since they do different things, you know, kind of like a collect all the cubes, and I do want one. I don't know if they're going to be doing that, but the plot I think was just so brilliant and kind of basic, you know, the fact that it is just a little black cube, yet because it invades our daily lives without us knowing it, it's really quite scary, and that I find is more terrifying than the Daleks or the Cybermen or the Weeping Angels or whatever, because it could happen, technically speaking. And I just think the plot is probably it is the best plot of the series so far, and probably one of the best, I think, for Matt Smith's episodes. The Shakri I thought were quite interesting, not something I know a lot about. I've not personally heard of that, but I know that, as far as I'm aware, the name has came up in classic episodes and things. But I thought they were kind of scary. Well, the one was kind of scary looking, a little bit creepy. The surgeons with the massive holes in their mouths kind of reminded me of Empty Child when the gas mask comes out of their mouth. I love that. Would have loved to have seen a few more of those, and they would make an awesome little action figure, but I really did love those quite a lot and got a little bit excited. The episode was directed by Douglas Mackinnon, who directed The Poison Sky and The Centauran Stratagem, which is actually one of my favourite episodes. I love them. And this does kind of have a very similar feel. Obviously with The Centauran Stratagem it was like Earth invasion, kind of very similar in theme. There were some really beautiful montages in this. The busy doctor one, when he was trying to keep busy instead of watching the cubes, honestly thought that was brilliant. And when Matt Smith flipped the football onto his back, I nearly died a little bit. One of my favourite montages. The long corridor scene I thought was very well done. Just as far as directing goes, this was absolutely fantastic. There are some really clever scenes. There's a lot of fast-paced stuff going on there, a lot to keep your eye on, but it's not done rushed or anything. So, complete credit to the directing. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And Doctor Who directing is normally good, but there's just something about this episode which stood out quite a lot more than usual. The script was written by Chibnall, who's wrote scripts for various episodes. I think one of them was 42. None of them are my favourite episodes, but I found the script in this one was absolutely fantastic. Loads of little individual things that I liked, but two specific quotes that really stood out for me, and both directed to the Doctor. One from Rory, which was, "What you do isn't all there is," which is true. I think the Doctor does obviously sometimes forget that the universe doesn't kind of revolve around him. And the second was from Brian, and it, "What happened to the other people who travelled with you?" And then the Doctor went in and gave a very small little speech about how some got left behind, some left, some died. Quite an emotional thing, and obviously next week's episode is The Last of the Ponds. It's going to be heartbreaking. I'm not looking forward to it. It was a nice way to set us up for that. So I'm a little bit upset. The Doctor had some pretty nice speeches in this, short speeches, but quite interesting. Also in this, we had Rory in his underwear. Oh my goodness, the Doctor kind of half top naked with his shirt open. Oh my goodness. We had fish fingers and custard. We had all the BBC news clips. We had Lord Sugar. We had that very brief trip to 1890 among other places, which was really quite exciting. We haven't had a lot of kind of costume episodes with this. If we kind of think back to Rose's series, which is my favourite series, specifically series 1 actually, we had a lot of ones where she was in costume. I'm thinking of episode 2 of the first series, things like that. Not a lot of those for Karen Gillan, but this one, I think this episode, even just that tiny little snippet made me happy. We had the birdie song in a cube, which is going to go down in history. And then we had this sudden ending. I thought it was going to be a two-parter. We had about 10 minutes left, and the Doctor hadn't saved the day. And then he does. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that. And it's really, really cleverly done. And I just think the cubes, the way the cubes developed throughout it, the way they released their plot, if you like, and then the way they were defeated, I absolutely loved it from start to finish. Definitely my favourite episode of the series, and one of my all-time favourite Matt episodes. Next week looks fantastic. I'm not looking forward to it just because it is the last one in this, well, the last one in the half of the series, The Last of the Ponds. But we have the Angels. Now, I don't normally like the Angels, but I find that next week's actually looks quite interesting, so I'm looking forward to the Angels. I'm looking forward to have River. Oh my goodness, Alex Kingston. Wow, I cannot wait to get River back. I absolutely love her. You'll know that if you've seen my other Doctor Who episode reviews. The fact that it's in Manhattan, I kind of thought, the Alex in Manhattan, the Angels, something Manhattan, there's a word there, I can't remember what that verb is. But I'm really looking forward to it. Please feel free to leave comments and let me know your thoughts on the Power of 3, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!